Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the body armor series. We're going to be talking specifically about the Velocity Systems SCARAB Light Full Kit. This system right here is from Velocity. That's the plate carrier itself, but the chest rig that you see on the front here is from Haley Strategic. It's the D3CRX chest rig, very nice. So let's get started. Okay, so one of the first features and one of the first things that I like about this chest rig is the Ultracomp shoulder straps, and it has these padded sleeves. Now, something that's extremely important, and it kind of sets this plate carrier apart from everybody else, is this D-ring right here. And the great thing about this D-ring is it allows these shoulder straps to move. So I can move them back and forth. And why that's so important is because with most plate carriers, your shoulder straps are sewn into the front plate, sewn into the rear plate. Sometimes these shoulder straps, when they're sewn in, can cut into your neck, making it very, very uncomfortable, very unpleasant. These shoulder straps just kind of fall naturally where they need to be. I've been wearing this and moving around and messing around with this plate carrier for about a week and a half, and I haven't had any issues at all. So that's the first feature. All right, so the next feature is going to be this front flap. Now, the front flap actually can come off. I took it off in this particular case. It goes on the front, and I'm sure you guys have seen it on most plate carriers. You lift that front flap up, and then your cummerbund can go underneath on both sides, and then you fold the flap back on top. We all know that when you have that front flap on and you have your chest rig or your loadout on the front, sometimes it can be very, very hard to get that front flap open in order to get in and out of your chest rig. So with this particular one, how I have it set up, I took the front flap off and I went with these little side pieces here, and I'm gonna talk more about that here in a second. So that's the front flap. The next thing is the quarter flaps, and that's what I was just talking about. These quarter flaps makes it to where, number one, you can replace the front flap. Two, you can hold your side armor, so you can slide your side armor inside of this. Three, this makes it where it's so much easier to get in and out of your plate carrier. So I can just take my cummerbund off here, I can reattach it, no problem, close it, and I'm done. The great thing about this, using these flaps here, is that I can leave the cummerbund undone on one side. I'm able to leave this side right here closed fully, and I can get in and out really fast. All right, so the next thing, and this is something that I'm extremely impressed with, that I love. I honestly wish that I would have found this plate carrier a long time ago, because I would have purchased it, but it's this back zip-on panel. Now, the great thing about this panel, and for guys who are very familiar with wearing plate carriers or carriers like this, and they have an assault pack on the back, is that if you're trying to get in and out of cars, it becomes very, very difficult. Once you're in the car and you're sitting in the chair, you're about 6 to 8 inches from the car or from the seat, and it's kind of pushing you forward a little bit. So what I love about this system is that it's just a zipper. You just simply unzip it, it comes off. You want to put it back on, you zip it back on. You can keep your night vision, extra medical supplies, balaclavas, all kind of stuff in your assault pack, whatever your mission dictates. These zip-on back panels are worth their weight in gold. When I saw that, I had to have it. Okay, also, with the full kit, if you buy the SCARAB Light Full Kit, you're gonna get 4 sets of cummerbunds. And the great thing about the cummerbunds is that they're gonna come in 4 different sizes. So whether you're small or fat, you're gonna have plenty of cummerbunds to pick from. And it really makes the adjustability and the final fitting of this particular vest really easy to accomplish. The next feature is 100% made in the USA. So it's awesome, you know, when you can buy products and you're supporting a company that's manufacturing stuff here in the US. Okay, so let's switch gears just a little bit. Let's talk about fitting. All right, so you've got your vest, you paid for it online, it finally came in the mail, you're excited. Now you've put it all together, and now you're like, now what? What do I do now? How do I make sure this is fitting properly? So again, when you're talking about plate carriers were designed, number one, to maximize mobility. Okay, so the plates hadn't really gotten any smaller, but the actual carrier itself, the real estate on the carrier, has gotten smaller, and that's to maximize mobility. So the great thing about plate carriers is that although they are minimalistic and have gotten smaller for mobility purposes, they're still protecting the vital organs. And when I'm talking about the vital organs, I'm talking about the heart and the lungs and those major arteries around the heart that are extremely important to protect. Now let's talk about the front plate specifically. To keep it really simple, you want the front plate to be up high on your chest. It's not designed to protect the abdominals or your gut in my case, but you want it to be up high on the chest where your collarbones meet. Where your collarbones meet right in here, you have this little soft notch right here. We call it the sternal notch. That's pretty much where you want it. You want it to be right about even with that sternal notch, and that's going to ensure that your heart and your lungs and those major arteries around your heart are being protected. Now, moving on to the back plate, it's pretty much the same, but basically you want your back plate to be approximately or about the same height as your front plate, because you can get shot from the back and your heart and your lungs are still just as vulnerable. So we want to protect the heart and lungs from both sides, if that makes sense. Now, it's very important. Now, when you're trying to fit this, you're adjusting your shoulder straps, you're adjusting the cummerbund and all that stuff. It's important to go ahead and put your loadout on it. Try to set it up how you think you're going to set it up, or at least put all the items that you know you're going to carry on your plate carrier, because that's going to add a lot of weight, and you can go ahead and adjust the height, the tightness, and all that of the plate carrier while you have all that on. All right, so let's move on to the next thing, and we're going to talk about the tightness. How tight should this be? To keep it simple, you want the carrier and the vest to be snug, but it shouldn't really impede your breathing. You still want to be able to breathe, obviously. So again, you want it snug, but you don't want it to like prevent you from breathing. Okay, so the last thing you need to do when we're talking about fitting, you need to grab your rifle. You need to grab your rifle sling. You need to grab your helmet, your ballistic helmet or your bump helmet, whatever you have. You need to grab your pistol. You need to put everything on, all right? And you need to go back through those different movements, front, back, side to side, lifting your arms up, doing all those things. Practice getting the rifle up into your shoulder pocket right here. And that's gonna just like make sure that the vest is where it needs to be. The number one priority is protecting those vital organs. Second priority is that we have that excellent mobility, you know, the entire reason why we bought the dang thing. But we want to make sure that everything works. And you can do this at home, and that's the great thing about it. Just make sure that your firearm is unloaded, but do this at home. Practice coming up with your rifle, practice coming out and transitioning to your pistol. Do all those things while you're going in different shooting positions. So again, standing, squatting, kneeling, prone, urban prone, supine, all those different things. And you're gonna start to get a feel for the vest itself. You wanna make sure that the vest isn't pinching you in any areas. The front or the rear plate is not coming up and hitting you in the back of the head or coming up and hitting you in the chin. If it is, you just gotta make some adjustments. So these types of things are very, very important. Okay guys, and that does it for part 2. Make sure that you guys tune in to the next one that's on its way. Part 3, we're gonna discuss the loadout. We're gonna discuss this chest rig from Haley Strategic. We're gonna discuss this backpack, what I have inside of mine, everything that I have in this chest rig. More importantly, I'm gonna explain why I've chosen to place or have certain things on my vest. And we're gonna go over all of that in depth. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. As soon as I see the question, I'm gonna answer it to the best of my ability. If you saw this video on YouTube, make sure you subscribe or go check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/Provectus Group. And you can also find me on Instagram @Provectus Group. And guys, remember, in all that you do, be unstoppable.